Hello, everyone. You made it to our 4 p.m. section. Give it up for yourselves, guys. Last one, last one. Okay, how are you guys feeling so far? Give me some words. Awesome. Okay, so startup's going well. You haven't felt any failures yet? Any roadblocks? No, your startup is going smooth? No. Okay, great. Then perfect. We are going to set ourselves up for success then, because now I'm going to teach you guys how to actually get your first customers through social media. So let's get started with this. First, hi guys, I'm Umama. The root of my name, Uma, actually means community, and it is at the root of everything that I do. So I've been building community through B2B businesses, through my media agencies for the last 8 years. I ran a tech startup as well called Sweatpack. We scaled to about $250,000, 25 cities, and did really well. And the pandemic shut us down. So real world experience here. And then also over the last 10 years, I've been building a community online through my own personal brand, Umama Kibria. And I also run a community called Play. Now, some people see all this and they're like, when the fuck do you sleep? Because this is something that always is in motion. But something we're learning right now is that with AI, the barrier of entry to building a business is so much lower. Anyone has access to this. But the only thing that actually matters now is distribution. AKA, who are you actually selling to? Who can you actually go after consistently, learn from, grow from, and then scale with? So, my goal here today is to teach you how to build these distribution networks for yourself through social media. So I always like to start these sessions off. Can you guys stand up for me? It's just been a long day. I've also had a long day. And it's also really sunny outside. Have you guys stepped outside? If I had time, I would have had us run one lap just to get us energized for this. But here's what I need everyone to do, okay? I actually just did this exercise in the bathroom pre-event. I always do this. But okay, we are going to let out a huge ass exhale, because I know when it comes to social, people are like, I need to put myself on camera. Is anyone gonna follow me? Is anyone gonna listen? Is anyone gonna convert to an actual customer? They will. Don't worry. But first, we need to exhale all that imposter syndrome bullshit. Are you guys ready? I want a 5-second exhale. Ready, set. Exhale all that imposter syndrome bullshit. And I want you to inhale 5 seconds. All the opportunity and growth that's about to come your way. And let that sit in. Now you can have a seat. All right, we feeling good now? Energy's good? We can do this? Okay, cool. Okay, guys. Oh shit, how do I go back? Okay, the why. I'm gonna keep this stuff short because I wanna get to the practical stuff, which is I want you guys to leave today with one of 3 things. 1, you're gonna leave with a tactical strategy that you're gonna be able to apply to this business you're working on, your personal brand, your full-time career, or any business that you build. I'm gonna give you that strategy. Or 2, I'm gonna validate the fact that you already know all this stuff. And you're gonna ask yourself, wait, why haven't I been doing this if this is working for her? Or 3, you're just gonna leave with a lot of energy, because I promise I'm going to bring that for you guys today, okay? Amazing, thank you so much. The back, okay, cool. So when it comes to our why for social media, let's get clear on what it is that social will actually provide for us. 1, it is the best customer discovery tool that is out there. If you are just trying to pull an audience of 10 to 20 people, think about how hard that was trying to do that through Slack or through text messages, or trying to go to an event and go do street interviews. I can post a story and I have 6,000 people that will answer a poll within a few minutes. And that's the type of research I want you to be able to get down to. So it's a customer discovery hack. 2, free organic marketing. Now, I loved Rohan's session, and paid strategies are very important as you're scaling. But as a startup, we've got to be lean, we've got to be creative, and we have to own a piece of it so that we get so close to our customers that we know them like the back of our hands. We're also building with them. So 3, scale business development. This is how I've always done my partnership pipelines. Any of the people that I hire have also come from my network too. So just a few of the reasons why we are building it. But today we're gonna go over the how, which is, okay, first, we're gonna figure out who our community is, how to develop them, what content cadence do we need to follow to reach them. 3, which type of influencers or community leaders should we partner with? And then lastly, if you're like, screw all this, I don't want to do it, I just want to hire someone, I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to put into Claude, GPT, or to actually go hire your first social media manager. And you will have access to these slides. I'm just gonna let you have this, okay? So I want you to be more intentional with listening to me than just taking notes on all this, okay? You will have access to this. Okay, so first, I come to social with a background in everything I create content around for my clients must lead with value. I mean, think about it. We scroll through Instagram, TikTok, we have 3 seconds. People have so many choices. So if your content doesn't automatically offer value within that first 3 seconds or through that duration of that video, you've either lost somebody forever or you've gained someone plus their entire community. So always think value when you're creating any piece of content. So I'll use that word a lot here. Content we know can be in the form of blogs, videos, photo, carousels, whatever form is best for your audience. Collaboration is going to be when we actually collaborate, and engagement is going to be likes, comments, shares. The one that I optimize for with most of my clients now in tech is primarily shares. So we'll go through the details of all of that. And I will skip this. So, when it comes to any social platform or any business strategy that I pursue, I always use this one formula called the C method. Content, collaboration, and engagement. Meaning, if you are always delivering value through the content, whether that's through your business, through your videos, or through your events, then you have to be able to collaborate with people. So think about like influencers, community leaders, other business partners, and then you have to engage them. So now we've drawn them in with the content, we've collaborated to get trust, but engagement is the last piece of that puzzle, meaning how are we actually going to convert them? Because that's the number one question I get with social is like, why should I invest all this time into this if I can't directly correlate an ROI? I see some straight nods. People are like, yeah, why should I do this, right? It's not like paid where you can get that direct CAC cost. But with social tools now, you can attribute brand awareness to actual conversions and click-through rates. There's so many different metrics now we can use with these platforms. But if you keep this formula in mind with your business or with social, then you can see your way to the bank. Get it? C method. CCE. Okay. But here's the number one thing when you are getting started with social media. Reframe your followers as your friends. And as soon as you make this mindset shift, the way you show up online is 100% different. If you guys just went to that GTM workshop we just did with Rohan, your ICP should be a real person, right? I'm going to do an exercise, a fast-paced version of that for new people here, but reframe them as your friends, and then you'll always show up for them. And you'll always create content, now thinking and talking to that one friend. So raise of hands, how many people here already have a personal brand they posted on LinkedIn before? Yes. Okay, cool. You guys are all content creators. Congrats. You guys can do this. Okay. But now when you're creating for your brand, I can understand this can be a different challenge because it's not you talking about you. So here's what I always recommend when you're getting started with your business. Personally, I think you should always start with a social media diet, AKA delete all the apps. People are like, what? Oh, I thought the purpose of this was to learn social. Well, the thing is, you're not going to know what your value is or what your business does well if you're just so busy consuming what everyone else is doing. Yes, inspiration is great. We should learn trends, things like that. But if you don't even know who you are, what your unique value proposition is, then why would someone else want to follow along with your content? So I say do this for 2 to 3 days, a week, a month if you need to, but use that time to really nail down what your business is. I actually use hackathons like this to help. A hackathon actually helped launch my last tech startup with just 1 weekend, grind along, build a business, no social, and that blew up to $250,000 in 2 years. 1 year, sorry. And then next is delete. So I will actually tell you, when you do come back online, I want you to actually unfollow the people, unfollow the brands, unfollow anyone that gets in your brain and disturbs your peace when you show up. You know who these people are. They're the people that you're like, they're judging me. So clear your plate so you can go in fresh. And then when you're first getting started, I want you to actually dedicate some time to actually creating pieces of content on Instagram stories or Snapchat. AKA, nobody is looking at the metrics. It's just this self-practice of showing up. So once you've done that, then you start to figure out what is your specific strategy, why you show up. So start with stories. Now let's get into the business and personal brand side of this. Now, the reason I'm going to harp on personal brand today, plus the business side of the content strategy too, is right now, our users are becoming so much more discerning with who they're following online. They don't want to follow a logo. They could get your information through ChatGPT or Claude. What they want to do is experience and hear that content from a person that they can build a relationship with and build trust with. And they want to be able to associate you or someone from your team with that category and being that resourceful guide as help. So you can either do it yourself or hire someone on your team to handle this. But today, we're going to first get started with this. So this is about social. I'm not going to be just talking at you. So time to whip out your phones. All right. I need your phones. Okay. Now, we're going to do a fun exercise where one of the things I've learned in my 8 years of entrepreneurship is it really sucks some days when you are all alone trying to solve a problem. But what's always been powerful for me is I always come back to those old videos on my phone where I'm crying, dealing with the problem that I'm building for. And when I see myself in that raw moment of the why behind the business, something snaps back into me and I'm like, okay, get your shit together. It is go time. Like, this was the why. Don't get so caught up in the everyday nuances of the tech broke, the tokens ran out, this person sucked, like they screwed me. Like, that's gonna happen. But if we always come back to that why we started, then we'll keep ourselves in the game. So I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. You can take any space here, don't go too far, but I want you to record a 1 minute video to yourself about this problem that you're solving for today. And if you want to be selfish and you don't want to do the startup weekend stuff, like, you can also you can make a video to yourself about why you showed up this weekend, why it's important to you to build and be in these communities. So I want you to start with the problem as the hook, like the first 3 seconds. We're gonna get started with understanding how to craft a video. Start with, this thing sucks. This is what I'm feeling right now. This is why I wanna build this. It's a sample format, but you can talk about whatever you want to. This is staying in your phone. I want you to just favorite it so that you can come back to it. Okay, ready? I'm gonna start a 3-minute timer. You need to record a 1-minute video, but feel free to take a little bit of time to reflect. Ready, set, go. Okay, good work. Our storytellers and content creators have now been made. Now we understand why we've decided to show up here today and what we're building so that we can always come back to that when times get tough. Now, we've understood our own why. Now we want to understand who we're creating for. Now, it seems like you guys have already done these ICP exercises to understand who your person is, but here's my challenge to you. You're gonna still have your phones in your hand. I want you to actually pull up that person's Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok profile right now, and I need you to wave it at me. The reason it is so important to understand this is because we need to know that the ideal community member we're talking to actually exists. So that when we're talking to the camera, when we're creating content, we are always asking, like, hey, Sanjana, for example, I host a series called Hot Girls Vibe Code, and the community is all about just empowering strong women to understand how to use AI tools to build companies. So someone like Sanjana here is someone that I want to reach. So whenever I'm creating a piece of content, I'm like, oh, is this video gonna resonate with Sanjana? Is she gonna come back to me and she's gonna be like, oh my God, you stole the words out of my mouth, which is an actual DM encounter we had this week. So you need to be so good at knowing who that person is, their lifestyle, their interests, their personality, their salary. All of those things are so important. So go ahead, pull it up. I wanna see it on your phone. Who is that person you are building for with your startup today? Okay, I see one here. What's her name? Or what? What's her name? Yeah, Addie. Okay, we've got Addie. Let me see some more profiles. Who's that? Maya. We've got Addie and Maya we're building for. I mean, we all have ICPs, right? Diego, who's yours? Yeah, who are you building for? I need a real person. Alex, do you have his profile? Pull it up. Because guys, what we need to be able to do is, like, if I'm putting a poll out there, right? Like, you guys are building these amazing startups. Why are we not DMing these people? Right? Like, so if we're thinking about, like, Alex, I should be able to say, hey, Alex, actually, hey, this is so random, but I'm doing this thing. I just have this question. Would you mind, like, giving me a few word responses? Like, think about that person. So not everyone has to do it right now, but as long as you have a profile you can always go to, this will be so key in that content creation journey. And it's gonna make your paid media strategy and your organic social strategy so much easier, because you'll also know how to go engage with them on social afterwards. But here's the thing. I can teach you so many different strategies here today, but the one thing I cannot teach you how to do is actually give a shit about the person that you are building for. Pivot your company right now if this is someone you cannot stand. Like I used to run a B2B company and I fucking hated the people that I had to work with. So I was like, screw this, I'm working straight B2C because it's just I can get to my person faster and make money faster because I know how to talk to them. So you need to actually care. This is why that follower versus friend mindset will help you get here. Okay. Now, on social, another great growth hacking method on social is actually to partner with other brands that look like you or that may have the same audience. So you'll see a lot of big collaborations that come out. Like Claude and Lovable did a partnership for International Women's Day. Think about that partnership right there. Do they not have the same exact audience? People building in tech, vibe coding, easy entry into AI. One could say, oh yeah, Claude Code competes with Lovable, but Anthropic is a much bigger company that has so many different products, right? So they can cross-pollinate those audiences. And that was a $1 billion activation that they did globally. So I want you to think about who are partners in brands that you could work with your startups to be able to cross-pollinate those audiences, okay? So I'm gonna move on from this. Once again, you guys will have these slides. The last note on partnerships. Make sure there's equal value when you reach out to them for a partnership. So if you are reaching out to a Claude or Anthropic, they have a lot of access to money and resources. So think about, hey, I'm actually like building Authflow right now, right? With Authflow, why would Anthropic want to work with me? Because you would be like, hey, I've started a community of med tech leaders that Claude or Anthropic could be like, oh yeah, like we want more doctors and healthcare professionals to have access to Claude. So they would see that value exchange as something that's helpful for both sides. So think about what it is you can bring to the partnership. Because think about it, that partnership could lead and open up so much to you. Network. This is something like I do with brand building, is just to understand, like, when you're developing your community, who are other communities that exist that have your audience? So let's say I'm building SideQuest, for example, right? A friendship matchmaking platform. I'm probably gonna go and reach out to people like my friends at Let's Do Fun Things here in Chicago, or a run club, and I'm just gonna reach out to them because they already have a community of people that are interested in friendships. So I don't have to oversell to them. So when I'm thinking about who do I talk to and market to and engage with on social, I'm gonna go steal their audience because they already built what I need, right? So you'll go and comment, like, engage, share all the content on those people's pages under that run club. So important to understand who your community is. So let's get to the value. This is where we're gonna do this content cadence exercise to understand what are all the things that you are specifically going to bring through content. So, let's go back here. Okay, now, I'm gonna share this advice because this is kind of changed in the last year of social, which is we used to be able as businesses say that, oh, I'm gonna do one post about community, one post about product, and then one post about like tech, whatever. Now, we only get to talk about one thing. We need to be good about talking about one thing. Get really good, and then you can like split up and say, okay, I am with Loop, for example, with toothbrushes. Like, You're going to go in and your strategy is just talking about reducing waste and while you're brushing your teeth. Like it's something repeatable and something people will learn to trust you for. So do that format a lot. What I want you guys to think about right now is what's one piece of content that you could make repeatedly 100 times? What is something your business does so well that you could talk about forever? I want you guys to write that down for me. What is that one niche problem you can talk about for 100 pieces of content? Okay, let's take a minute there. And I want you to actually write out 5 different pieces of content from that. Yes. Yeah, so let's say that what the niche is, we'll say Loop. Okay, Loop is a toothbrush company that reduces waste by 90%. Am I reading that right? 90%. That's amazing. Oh, you guys are Loop. Okay, love it. I will use you guys then. Okay, amazing. So then your niche problem is like Bytes is one of my clients. So I've worked in that industry. I know but what works really well for Byte is they know their hook line is those little bites. Someone inserts it into their mouth, and they actually like just do everyday activities talking about sustainability. So they just drop. Their problem is they know they're talking to the sustainability Sally, and every day they show up with that same hook clip, dropping the gum in their mouth, and then sharing one sustainability swap people can make. So the problem is we are being so wasteful in this earth and overcomplicating how to be sustainable. Here's one swap you can make while they're using the product. So it's not always about the product, it's just being that thought leader in that space. So what is that one problem you can talk about? Any follow-up questions to that, Marco? Okay. Everyone got it? I'll give you guys about 30 seconds here. Amazing. Just to save some time, I'm going to keep on rolling here. Okay. Captions. Okay. So you've come up with your content. You know exactly what problem you're solving. And now we're like, okay, I got to write this caption. Most people now are just going to be like, well, I'm just going to feed this into Claude to write a bunch of captions for me. Yes, I want you to do that. But what I've seen is the most important thing, especially if you're on Instagram and TikTok, is your SEO with your captions. So I'm going to teach you guys a formula I use whenever I do speaking engagements, captions, content, and it works. So first thing is every single caption will have a hook, aka a very enticing introduction. You have 3 seconds for this, okay? So for example, in the fitness industry, I would be like, how to lose fat and gain muscle. Oh, look, literally everyone's heads just rose because they were like, okay, yeah, how do you do that? Okay, that's my hook. Then a short story. This is just a one-liner that gives the answer without giving too much detail. Oh yeah, you're gonna do that. I did this 6-week shred program and I lost 20 pounds. People are gonna be like, wait, what? What program? Great, I've got their attention. Then the presentation, which is the 3 bullet points. We're like, okay, first I did 3 30-minute walks every week. Then I did this nutrition program. And then I did this shred workout program that just burned the fat. So you've hooked them in with the, what is the solution? How do I do that? The short story, which is you kind of give them a micro answer, a taste. Then you give the explanation. And then you close, which is the CTA. Right? Like, and if you want to join this program too, the link is in my bio to check it out. But something people miss is a rehash. AKA, remember, everyone has a hidden sale. This is a technique I learned in sales. You know, there's people that sell knives at Sam's Club. That was like one of my first jobs. I did door-to-door marketing. I can sell anything. But for this, the same story, the same caption formula works. So with rehashing, if they're not going to close and click the link in the bio, then ask them to comment, right? Like get something else out of them. Ask them for a share. Ask them like, oh, what are some other programs you're looking at? Or what follow-up questions do you have? Or what was the shittiest workout you've ever done? Like get something else out of them. Now, you can just build this as a skill in Claude. So you can tell Claude, hey, this is Umama's caption formula. Anytime I tell you to produce a piece of content, I want you to format it this way. I personally like to still have my hands on the caption process. So what I do is I do dictation. So have you guys heard of Whisper Flow? Okay, I just like straight voice text all my captions. That way it retains my personality that people know how I talk, so they expect that same voice in the caption as well. I've also trained Claude to like talk like me, but I personally just like this. It's faster for me. Okay, engagement marketing. So we are coming up on the last 5 minutes, so I'm going to start kind of rushing through the last few slides. But engagement. So this is everything now, which is how do I actually build my community online? The algorithms will reward you for using all of the engagement methods available. Commenting on people's pages, watching and sending DMs, engaging in polls, going live, like all of these are ways you can engage on social. So these are the things that you can do. You can comment, stories, hashtags. I just built an agent for you guys that actually lives in your text message, and it is your content creator assistant. So you can text it and be like, hey, I am actually doing this post today. Remind me to engage with these people, or send me 10 profiles a day I should engage with. And you can do this all through iMessage. So I will share the link for this Play agent with you guys in the Slack. So the agent will help you do this. Lookalike audience we talked about with brand partnerships and influencers. We want to spend about, anytime we post, my rule of thumb is minimum, after I post, I must engage for 10 minutes. So that means I'm commenting on other people's profiles, I'm watching their stories, I'm engaging with influencers, and also commenting on other brands' pages. When they don't answer questions that their audience is asking them, I'm gonna go steal them by answering it and gaining that trust and building that community. I do it through dictation, once again, voice to text, so it goes much faster than having to type everything out. Now, I won't go into Facebook ads because Rohan already kind of covered this. But this is the slide that you really need, which is, at the end of the day, social is all about the tools that you're using now to help you get batch content made. AKA, spend 2 days a month as a business shooting content with your community, or just getting in front of a camera and just whipping out a bunch of videos, and spend way more time on the business and engaging and building community. So these are some of the tools that I use. If I'm being so honest, if I'm being so honest, the only one I really use these days is just CapCut. My text agent that you can use through iMessage will actually connect to your Canva. So you can text it to say, hey, make me an infographic for this using Canva, and it'll spit it back out for you. So Canva and CapCut are the two you should use. And then you can automate a lot of stuff through native Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn tools. You can use Claude. Claude is definitely my best friend. I've made it my age. I have like a social agent using Claude Cowork that actually creates the infographics. it can now actually edit your videos too if you train it on how you edit. So that's another thing. And you can actually have agents go engage with people, but I'm not going to advocate for that. Oh, and then Google Nano Banana. Has anyone used this? This is like, it's just like insane. Once you create a brand, like a logo for your brand, you can just insert it into Nano Banana and be like, create swag for me. Make these models look like they're using this product. Like, and it is insane. So highly recommend Google as Nano Banana. And then if you're like, screw all this, I'm just gonna hire somebody to do this. One, of course, I think you should hire Claude. Then, two, I think here's the way you should think about like where expenses come from with social. One, all you need is a phone. This is not a phone. You have a phone. I like to have my tripod. I just don't like to depend on anyone else to help me with my content, so my tripod does all the work. $20. If you really want to get fancy, you can get a G7X or a Sony Mark, $1,000. A photographer typically will start at like $250 an hour. You can do like a contract with them, get 4 shoots if necessary. But if I'm being honest, do 1 shoot and use Nano Banana for the rest. Then if you're like, okay, I'm ready for someone to actually manage this because I just need to work on the business, which is actually the smartest thing to do, hire like a junior level community manager at like $1,500 a month, maybe $200, $300 if you go overseas, up to you. At that point, just use AI. Or a full-time community manager. Guys, I'm not kidding when I say in tech, in innovation now I'm seeing social media and content creators are the biggest or the highest demand jobs right now. Because these are the people that are actually going to be able to bring you in business. So pay them well, let them do good work, and make sure they grow. And if you want, you can hire an agency. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to get to this, which is influencers. How do you work with them? Who are they? Who's best fit for you? I think the best influencers when you're first getting started, it's actually your mom on Facebook. I know, but like, think about who already in your network is going to hype you up with nothing in exchange. It should be your friends and your family. If not, come to one of my events. I'll help you find better friends. Okay. And then feature them in the content, right? Like those are your first models. Those are the first people that will leave reviews for you. Have them hype you up. Then 2, I think the gold is actually working with community leaders. These are people that already own the audience you want to work with. Like, for example, with Alexa here, like, she's been leading all of these events today. So whenever I'm like, oh, I actually want to bring out a tech product, who has the community that I want to launch with? Oh, Alexa's already had. Alexa has this community. Let me go reach out to Alexa, see what value I can offer her, and then I, in exchange, get access to her network. Now, you guys all know about my Play agent I'm about to drop in the Slack. Sorry, Alexa. It's helpful, okay? Okay, and then micro-influencers. Typically, what we're seeing in the industry now is referral bonuses for them are working really well, plus promo and discount codes. You can also work out in-kind exchanges if that makes sense. And big shots, just expect that for every 100,000 followers someone has, it's 1,000. Here, actually, the math is here. Okay, yeah. For every 10K in reach, it's basically $100 for that. I think I put dollar signs in front of the 10K, but it's $100 for every 10K in reach. So someone with 100,000 followers could be like 1,000. Cool? Okay. Yes, this is great. Engagement rate is where you're going to see the best value here. Just like actually go look at who's commenting and engaging on their profile. just having a big number, I actually will say I haven't really worked with any big influencers for most of my clients because now that number doesn't matter. Someone with 200 followers could get 24 million views, can get consistently get 20,000 views. And that might outpace the macro influencer. So pay attention to their page and who's actually engaging, and what those view numbers are. And at the end of the day, social media is just the top of the funnel. You still have to convert them. So that's where sales comes in. So make sure you have an actual engagement pipeline to make sure that you're actually converting them. My number one sales strategy is actually sliding into the DM. This is how I signed my clients at Nike. They actually reached out to me for an influencer marketing deal, but I bait them in and I was like, oh, sure, yeah, let me hear your proposition, and then signed a $20,000 deal instead. With, hey, actually, you can get access to my tech platform with the fitness community you're looking for. So it's a bait and switch, but all through the DM. You can text, get like text blasts, do free ebooks, whatever. Event marketing is also a great way. But just make sure you have a sales strategy. All right, guys. Are you guys ready to go make some content now? Okay, amazing. Well, that is the end of our session here today. This was the free micro version of this just to get you guys going. The number one thing you need to know is just post. Start somewhere. Remember the problem. Remember who you're talking to. And talk hard at that problem consistently. If you haven't posted 100 pieces of content and you've already shut down the startup, you are destined to fail. But if you really put in that effort to speak about it 100 times, then that might be just a signal that, hey, maybe this isn't actually a problem other people are experiencing. But if you do the things I shared with thinking about them as your friends, collaborating with other brands and creators, and engaging with them, then you'll see that scale. Thank you, guys.